Hello and a very warm welcome to another edition of the program. I'm Victor Matthias, and of course, I'm not coming to you from the studio, but coming to you from the podium in Lekki, where the Google 2019 for Nigeria event is taking place. So Google, since 2017, usually gathers key players in the tech industry to announce their plans and their projections for the next year. And this is why we're here. But before we go inside to find out what these plans and projections are, let's take a moment and see what made the trends on the social media in the past week.
President Muhammadu Buhari finally released the list.
And their projections for the next year. And this is why we're here. But before we go inside to find out what these plans and projections are, let's take a moment and see what made the trends on the social media in the past week.
President Muhammadu Buhari finally released the list most Nigerians have been waiting for after he was re-elected and sworn into office for a second term. While some commended the list, others were not excited, as they claim those on the list are not going to perform better than their predecessors. Nigerians on and off social media received with shock.
It is that time of the year where tech enthusiasts, players from the private and public sector gather to hear from tech giants Google their plans for Nigeria and African internet users.
As we look forward excitedly to the future in Africa, we're convinced that we will continue to work together, leveraging technology to birth opportunity out of our challenges. In the midst of uncertainty, in a continent blessed with so much natural and physical resources, our resilience breeds hope. Our hope is transformed into a hunger for knowledge, knowledge into skills, skills into success fueled by technology. As we sail the fourth industrial revolution, we must harness technology to connect the dots, share our passions and interests, and break geographical boundaries. We must rise beyond the limitations of our surroundings and create global impact.
The country director also announces their plans to create a connection between Africa and Asia through an exchange program where startups from Africa will visit Asian cities to see firsthand how things are done in that region.
We'll be taking 10 startups from across Africa to Hong Kong, Shenzhen, Tokyo, Singapore, and Seoul. The goal is to create connections between Africa and Asia and to help these startups grow their businesses. I'd like to say a big congratulations to the following startups that have been selected from across Africa, and specifically Grist, Reliance HMO, and Tylo from Nigeria.
With machine learning and artificial intelligence a key arm of the tech world, gaining more grounds than ever before since it began in the 1950s, Google's head of AI Center in Accra, Ghana, Mustafa Cisse, speaks on how far the center has gone in its research, especially in connecting Africans who speak quite over 2,000 languages.
But the most exciting part of our job and our mission, I believe, is to use this technology and use these advances that we make from a purely scientific perspective and turn them into tools that can help tackle some of the toughest challenges we face in Africa. And these challenges range from health to agriculture, to education, to improving our understanding of demographics, or improving the way we communicate on the continent. In Europe, for example, the total number of languages spoken in Europe is about 350. If you are in Africa, it's more than 2,000 languages that we have here. And that's certainly a conservative estimate. This is by far the most linguistically diverse continent on Earth. And this linguistic diversity is actually present in every single country. I don't know how many languages exactly we have in Nigeria. And each of these languages is actually spoken by several million people. Today, many systems, in fact, state-of-the-art systems, do not work well for these languages. We're committed to change that, to improve communication between Africans, to remove these language barriers, and hopefully that will serve to improve the exchanges between people, to boost the commerce, and many other applications.
The tech giant also announces its partnership with the federal government to make an online safety curriculum available to all primary and secondary school students in the country, as well as an app to aid reading for kids in English.
We have been working very closely with our colleagues in Nigeria on 2 apps that we think can help people not only better understand the world in the here and the now when they need it, but also fundamentally improve their reading abilities when they are learning to read. But imagine if technology could also be used to address the problem of illiteracy at its roots, to help children learn to read in the first place. In March of this year, we announced Bolo, a speech-based reading app with one-to-one assistance to help children learn how to read just using their voice. The app, with its helpful in-app reading assistant, Dia, encourages children to read out loud, just as they would naturally do. But then Dia provides customized feedback to encourage them when they get it right and helps them when they get stuck.
A product marketing executive at Google, Taslima Okunola and Neaton, take us on a step-by-step process.
I will shortly open a book and read a few lines. I'll struggle at first and then read fluently so that you can see how the feedback mechanism works.
Artist song.
Katiti lived in a
Read aloud.
village next to a forest.
Excellent. You read very well.
She loved playing in the
Forest. F-O-R-A-S-T. Forest.
forest. Mama told her to be careful.
Very good. Every day, Mama would sing their special song to call her. Now your turn to read.
Every day, Mama would sing the special song to call her.
Excellent. You read very well.
For the first time in Africa, the instruction voice on the mobile device assistant, Google Go and Google Maps, was localized to reflect a Nigerian accent, while Google Lens was designed to help translate signs and messages to Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa.
We recently rolled out Lens inside Google Go to help people read, translate, and search for words just using their camera. Let me show you how it would work. Say you see a sign like this, but you struggle to read it. It seems pretty important. You can just open Lens, point it at the sign, and listen to the words read out loud.
Information for card holders. All customers using old proprietary magnetic stripe cards should be advised.
So, just in the past 2 weeks since launch, Lens has already helped many thousands of Nigerians read better and understand the words they see. Today, we are launching support for Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo.
Early testers of this feature shared their experience.
Growing up, my mom always encouraged us to sing, read, and do everything we want to do in Igbo. But me personally, I can't read Igbo. But right now, I'm just coming back from the church, and I love the Igbo service a lot. But I just sing along with them. I can't sing from the pamphlet.
Sannan gaskiya matsalar da nika fuskanta Lagos bai wuce ta rashin jin turanci ba. Gaskiya ina shan wahala sosai wajen cire kuɗi a ATM saboda sai na nemi wasu sun taimaka min wajen cire kuɗi a ATM ɗina.
My favorite literature in Yoruba, but I can't read it.
Okay, so I should just take a picture of the hymn on the pamphlet. So what will I do now? This is really, really awesome.
Hi, kaga abin wai? Gaskiya na ji daɗi yayi min yadda nake so app ɗin nan.
Oh boy. You see the crew. So this thing can speak English, oh. Nah, there.
Can you imagine? See, it's translating to Yoruba.
Aha. I see what you guys try to do here. AI, AR kind of thing, huh? Cool.
Senegalese jollof has nothing on Nigerian jollof.
With Nigerian food gaining global recognition, especially the tasty and spicy firewood-cooked jollof rice, it was no coincidence that the Google Arts and Culture Center's first dedicated project in Africa was focused around Nigerian food.
So from the east to the west, from the north to the south, from Ofe-Oweri to Akara, from Tuwo Masara to a Dikaikon. Please join me to enjoy. Join me in celebrating our proud, absolutely spicy, unapologetically yummy food culture by exploring Come Chop Belleful, a taste of Nigeria.
With music so much at the heart of Nigerians, the global head of music, Google and YouTube, Leo Cohen, says they intend to be the highest revenue providers for Nigerian creators and musicians who upload their content on YouTube.
Without you, your spirit, and your creativity, YouTube would not be the same. Nothing could make us happier but by seeing the creative community being responsible for creating a top export line to the world and to the Nigerian economy. That's why it's such a privilege, but also an enormous responsibility. YouTube works, but being a utility is not enough. We need more. We're not satisfied, and we're up for the challenge. We take it very, very seriously. Our goal is to be the #1 provider of revenue to the music industry by 2025. We're going to do this in 4 ways. 1, advertising. 2, subscription. 3, direct-to-consumer. And 4, promotion. And underpinning all of that, we're going to provide real data and understanding of your investments that you make on YouTube.
But what informed the decision?
We believe very much in the talent that exists in Nigeria and Africa, and what we want to do is to work with partners to just really energize that digital wave and the ecosystem in Nigeria. So with that in mind, one of the things we observed is the fact that capacity building is something that is still needed in this environment, right? We need to raise the level of digital awareness and participation, and that was the motivation behind pledging to provide free digital skills training to 10 million Africans in 5 years. This was a pledge we made in 2017. To date, we've trained 4 million people, 50% of them from across Nigeria, and also 48% women, right? So there is also a gender balance with that. And we've had some amazing success stories. About 1.2 million Nigerians trained have reported impact on their jobs, their careers, and their businesses. That's one example. Another example is just really providing support for local technology startups. we made a pledge to provide $3 million worth of equity-free for support to startups through our Launchpad Accelerator program. Again, when you talk about local content, basically, it's important that these startups have they play a very important role in creating apps, in creating solutions that solve local problems. And so being able to support them to grow also creates jobs as well. Through this Launchpad program, we provide 3 months worth of mentoring, coaching, workspace infrastructure as well to just really help them grow. And the space that we announced today is going to be an actual physical space in Lagos supporting startups across Africa.
Well, I still think that Google needs to do...
Nigerians that have been using Google applications bear their minds on what struck them the most and what they expect from the tech giants.
I would like to see more innovative stuff from Google. I mean, we all know that Google is a very progressive and very, innovative company. So we're expecting more innovative stuff from them, definitely. I would like for my technology to be more interactive with me. I mean, that would be really exciting. I mean, waking up in the morning and having my technology have like a full conversation with me, that would be so exciting. That's something I really like to see.
Google is actually coming home to Nigeria. I love the Okada feature that's going to be added to the map. It's really good. There's now an increase in ride-hailing apps in Lagos especially. And the YouTube music thing they have going is also really good. So I'm happy to just be here and see some of their products firsthand.
I'm really excited about the fact that there is an app for children that would help them improve their reading. The Bolo app, the Google Bolo app. So I have a mobile library for children, and there is so little I can do with just moving the trucks to communities and schools. But with the Bolo app, we can have more children sign up on it. It's free, and more children can learn how to read. So I'm really excited with this book space. I would like more information for children. I like the fact that they've told us about tips on safety for online activities for children, because parents have been very, very afraid of the fact that they don't want their children online. But there is so much information online that we can take children out of it. So we're hoping that they can create more opportunities where children can be safe.
For historical times, like let's say for instance, the time where they had the female World Cup, you open and then you see that, oh, this is what they're celebrating. But I've never really seen for an artist, somebody in music, right, or maybe an actor from here, and say, oh, it's, let's say, Burna Boy's birthday, or this was when Michael Jackson died, right? Or one day, just on Michael Jackson's birthday, just send us a notification that, oh, this was what he achieved and all of these things. It's going to go a long way, especially for us that are upcoming. If you can celebrate all of us like that in these times, it will just make a lot of sense. For music, it just shows that, oh, you are more interested, aside all of these amazing things that they're doing.
They're not really supporting young, small creators. I mean, I'm a YouTuber, and it's really painful, not painful, but I'd really love to see that Google support creators more. I know they want to follow the numbers, people who have the views, who can bring them more subscribers and more watch time. So they go for those who are already made on social media and invite them to create content. So they really need to do more of that for smaller creators so that they can grow to become as big as the big one.
Bolo, the one for kids, right? I think that is an interesting innovation where kids can learn how to communicate effectively just by using a particular platform where you have like an online teacher that corrects you and all of that. I think that every parent should get that because it would really help with literacy across Africa. I expect to see more people connect with their platforms, grow with their platforms to do a lot of things to impact the African community. Google has done so much with data, and I believe that with all the data that they have and the analysis of data, it can help boost businesses in Africa, and I think that is really incredible.
But what is all work without play? Nigerian music diva Tiwa Savage, in an electrifying display, turned listening faces to dancing ones.
Here we go, get in.
If you tell me, I don't go waste time, but to do like so. Everybody me jump.
Here we go, hey.
This lovey, no be charm.
See what? Get in,
hey. Because of you,
all over.
This feeling got me falling.
All over.
I get tired of something that you
all over.
I'll make me spend this money.
All over.
Because of you, I get it. All over. I get tired of something they do me for money.
All over.
I'll make me spend this money.
All over.
This one got Julie and Romeo.
Number 1 tonight, come on.
Original bungalow baba. Say na me with a make am shock.
Can we have some fun this morning, everybody?
Oh, love me, jeje, love me, tell.
Let's go, you ready? Everybody, let's go.
If you tell me, say make a bail. I don't go waste time, but to do like so. Everybody me Joe, disco.
Sing it, come on.
This lovey, no be chop and go.
One, two. I got to be all over.
This feeling got
all over.
I get tired of something.
All over.
I'll make me spend this money. Yeah, because of you, I got to go.
All over.
This feeling got me falling. Yeah, I get tired of something that do me for body. I'll make me spend this.
This week's most viewed video begins with a building collapse that claimed the lives of 12 people in Jos, Plateau State. It is followed by the visit of the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, to the leader of the Yoruba group, Afenifere, to console with him on the death of his daughter. Third Sport is taken by the explanation given by the Oyo State Governor on why he declared his assets.
In fulfillment of my campaign promise to the people that I will declare my asset publicly and release that document to the public. So they don't need to go through FOI channel. They can have it now. So that's why I came in.
In second is a video from 2018 where members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria were seen destroying a vehicle belonging to the Nigeria police.
Because you undermine us by even trying to do that. You haven't even listened to us, even if we are going beyond what...
While in first place is the heated debate between Senators Abo and Tinubu during the sitting of a committee set up to investigate allegations of assault by Senator Abo.
Because do you realize that the Senate, I want that mic and let me finish. Do you realize that the Senate, when we constitute this, whatever the law gives, we can also suspend you? Do you realize that? No, sir.
I will not sit and you threaten me with suspicion.
We are not threatening you. I said we are not threatening you.
I will not sit and threaten you with suspension.
All due respect.
And there you go. Those were the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. And that's where we wrap it up on the show today. But keep the conversation going via the social media addresses showing on your screen. And hopefully by the time we come back here next year, it will be a lot more local content for Nigerian internet users. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Victor Matthias.